doesn't really matter. It's actually not as heartbreaking when you get like a double overtime loss, for example. That can be a lot more difficult to digest. He seemed quite jovial about the whole thing. It's like, it was just a bad day. We can pick it back up. Like, a loss is a loss. Doesn't matter what the scoreline is, really.
A loss is a loss, and it also doesn't matter once you hit the playoffs. Right?
Exactly.
Reset it, win this game, get into the top 8, and you're as good as new. As fresh as a daisy. You can be as fresh as a daisy. Go to FACEIT.com/premium pass and get exactly that, the Twitch Premium Pass. It's something different for this major, obviously. You can check out every POV from every individual player in accordance to their number on the mini-maps. So it's pretty straightforward. You just go to twitch.tv/FACEITMajorPremium _ and the number. But again, go to FACEITMajor.com/premium pass. $10, one-time subscription. Lots of cool features beyond what I've just told you. We're going to get into the pistol. Tarek's going to start things off toward the checker room, and he's going to have pressure almost immediately. Cold Zero still on top of the platform in the site. Will also have to respond. He'll swing out. Tarek manages to hold off the vent, but then gets wrapped inside of checker. They can go directly toward him, so it still sits to a 3-on-3 as Fallen attempts the retake.
Problematic 3-on-3, I have to say, for MIBR. They do have the kit and a smoke, but the bomb down, and you can see NIP setting up the turrets here on each of the key points of the bomb site. Forest will be patrolling towards the vent and checkers. There is a CT player in the form of Fallen waiting on the other side. That's the smoke deployed. It's actually quite a powerful one if you think about it. What can Forest really do now up to get right to fight up close with the Glock here? And he knows that the burst fire is pretty decent for him sometimes, and there we go. It is going to connect. Dennis will as well, and now it's Fur who's left in a pretty impossible situation. Forrest still in that smoke. That's so fun that he can just sit there the entire time. It actually worked out for him in the end. A nice little B split coming in from NIP as they managed to trade frags initially on towards the bomb side there. 3 versus 3, and get right, I spoke to him about Glock burst fire about 2 days ago. I was outside and I said, I think burst fire is completely broken in CSGO, and he bit my head off straight away. No, it's not. People just don't know how to use it. I use it all the time, and it gets success. So.
Do you remember when it was like the most overpowered thing in the game, though, in like 2012
when it first came out? The Glock, like I remember like casting games like 2013. You'd be like, well, it's a T-side pistol, so we'll probably call this a 1-0 and then see what happens in the second round.
That was the problem with it. It
was so ridiculous.
Exactly, that was the problem. It's like, it's not like it's one gun that was overpowered, it's the pistol, which meant the economy at the start of the game was like hugely outweighed.
Indeed.
I tend to agree with you. I think that there's more that can be done. I don't so much care about the Glock because I think that the single fire for most people seems to be sufficient. It's the FAMAS I'd like to see it improved on.
Yeah, absolutely. It was such an iconic way to use the weapon in 1.6 and Source, and it's kind of just been removed now. I haven't seen anyone attempt to burst fire on the FAMAS in CSGO, really. Either way, MIBR, of course, have 4 support here, as they got the Deagle, CZ, the Scout for Tarek. NIP with the early lead here. Slow default. 3 rifles, always good to see. Have the UMPs to carry the majority of the utility. One thing we've always said about NIP, it's always been quite decent at these anti-force buy situations. Looks like they're triangulating towards the B side now. One player holding towards a storage. That's Lecro, just looking for any rotations. He'll hold towards middle now. It looks like a contact B play. This could be a little bit dicey with Tarek's scouts lying in wait in towards CT spawn. There's a smoke though, through the window, and Tarek will have to reposition.
Good shot from the scout to get the first tag. Tarek does reposition. He also takes down Dennis. Cole getting the first kill and then the second assist. So Deagle Scout combo. As Tarek's on 3, he still plays headshot position, tries to get another shot, and it's going very well for MIBR. It's suddenly down to just Lecro. Headshot still for Tarek. The 3 HP. He goes up, comes back around from the vents, and that is a solid shutdown.
There it is. Fist bumps all round. Yanko seems to be pleased with that. 1-1. MIBR holding off the B. I'm not going to say execution. It was a contact player of 1 smoke, and then the Scout Deagle compilation of Tarek and Cold Zero there working out very efficiently. Great stuff. As we get into round number 3, the Deagles now for an IP. I'm not sure if they're force buying in response. Indeed, they are. 3 players at least. Get right with $600, and there it is, down to 0. Goes for the utility instead of armor, as they are all fully invested now. Lots of proficient Deagle users on the NIP squad, so watch out for that. That's a good nade though. Does quite a lot of damage towards Dennis and Lecro at the start there. Bang attempt with the Deagle, ambitious. Looking for any sort of tags I can get here. Fallen not inside the mid warehouse. X-ray can be a little bit misleading. He's actually beneath the boost spot there. As Stewie opens things up. Nice shot towards Squeaky in order to take down Rez. 5 versus 4. Fallen might want to think about falling back at this one, or at least call some backup, and the deep will come towards the short box to back him up as Forrest looks to find the opening pick for the terrorists there.
Decent play from Fallen to catch out Forrest, getting on the boost, trying to sneak in toward mid. Dennis, meanwhile, Deagle goes back over toward A main. Bomb's going to head in that direction as well. From NIP's perspective, it looks to be an A hit with 55 seconds. A smoke, a Molotov, and 2 flashes. They could isolate part of the site. The problem is with the smokes down, you're not really going to be expecting Fur to be up above on the catwalk, so he'll have vision either way. Stewie's already taken down Dennis as well. Dennis was not really able to do much in response. They've already thrown the smoke. Flash goes now. Molotov went, but they got countered. That bottle up space and exactly this. Even with the smoke out toward that way, Fur's just standing up there waiting for them to enter.
Indeed he is. 2-1. MIBR looking confident there. And just now we'll have to be onto a full eco. One of these rounds where not really much to report or to hope for here for the Swedes. Just going to be maybe wasting time, basing on those grenades, trying to see if any mistakes are made, any impatient pushes, or they could just rush and get it over with. Either option is viable. Best of 3 series is what we get to for the last teams. Everyone has 2-2. NIP started off 1-0, then it started slipping away, finding himself looking for the very last slot here in the playoffs. Didn't make it to the last couple of majors. Now battling for the arena, so at least they're in an upward trajectory.
Yes.
Getting there.
Yeah, there's no denying that, and it's important for them. Lekro in-game leading as well. That's not something, given his quiet nature, that I would have pegged him for, but I guess you could say the same about Exist. If you weren't already an in-game leader, would I really expect his personality to lead? They're actually kind of similar in some ways, but a newer,
I think
less experienced player.
Looking for someone who hadn't been tainted by like 1.6 or other games ways, like a CSGO player, a young brain, let's try something new here. I think that must have been the rationale behind it. And it seems to be working. It's the best looking NIP we've seen in around a year or so, so let's see what they can bring together. And like I said, there were 2 options here, either just rush and get it over with, or take it slow and attempt to run boost, but Tarek's now at least on the bodies of the ninjas there. He only gets 2. Moves on for a couple more there. Cold Zera actually goes down as well. This is a little bit sloppy now, so you can see it's definitely worth going slow sometimes and catching them off, as they do find 2 kills. Better than nothing. Keeps the CTs modest.
Lekro knew instantly that someone would be coming through the vents. If he had actually landed that shot on Cold, it could have gotten very hairy. But now it's 3-1 for MIBR. NIP back to guns. They'll have 5 AK-47s, no AWP. Not that they really have a primary opper. Sort of the last of the hybrid teams in that sense. Double op on the other side. Cold Zero is going to pick one up.
Yeah, he's very good with it. So the double up setup, quite idyllic for MIBR here. Cold Zero makes his way towards the back of B. Are they going for the old classic boost? I don't think they are. So, oh, maybe they are. Can see it happening. This is a blast from the past. See if it actually equates to a kill. I don't think so. You can see 3 players for NIP waiting to go out the squeaky door here. They will be committing to that. It's a bit of a B bait from those 2 players towards the B storage. The bomb is there at squeaky. They're hoping to pull a rotation off from A. You can see Stewie's actually quite isolated, only Fur to back him up. So once Lekro and Get Right feel like they've done enough, and they've maybe got a trade towards this side of the map, that will be the cue to go out squeaky door. So keep your eyes on the mini-map for when they commit.
They're actually behind box with no one toward generator, which exactly that. Get Right catches Tarek before he gets to headshot, doesn't have the coverage, and that is your bait, that is your rotation, because a single kill, they have to get support toward the AWP, which now is fighting a much closer battle than originally as the boost, originally as the entry. Stewie, good anticipation on the door, heard it open, goes out, finds 1 player still lurking inside it, and they haven't planted the ball. Molotov thrown. This is a bit of a sicky situation. They should have potentially already been on that plant, nearly get pushed off the bomb altogether. Dennis now gets the kill and return on the site, but hasn't got time to put it down. He's now in a 1 versus 3, and very tedious and timid because he has no idea as to how close and how much threat he's under. So he'll take the 29 seconds that he has rather than try and plant the bomb. And spots 1 towards Z connector, can't get the kill, good damage. Gets a second information as to that the fact they're at truck. He knows now he does have the time, but he baits instead, wants to try and get kills.
Could have got that plant down and got a bit of extra cash. You actually would have helped them out get a buy, I would say. Up to try and take Fallen down, and I have to say it's all about Stewie. Absolutely. Great job by coldzera to find the really important kill that side of the map, but Stewie positions correctly. He hears them coming. He throws a really intelligent incendiary there, baits them out, and denies a plant for the longest amount of time. They don't even get it down. So it was a very good attempt from NIP. You can't really fault their approach towards the B bomb site, get the kill, pull the rotation, but it just wasn't quite enough there, I'm afraid. And it will be 4-1 in favor of MIBR. 16-0'd yesterday. Quite the sight for Fur and Co. Look a lot more poised today. Nice opening pick there from Fur. Just the deagles and armor for NIP. Loss bonus starting to rack up at this point. 4 rounds against them. They'll have maximum going into that next round. Objective from IBR. Keep it clean. No one has to overcommit. Not looking for the frag movie highlight clips just yet. Just want to be holding up. Keep 5 alive. Now you've got the advantage. Don't even have to challenge middle. Let them have it. It's not a bomb site. As long as you've got the sites covered, you know they've got pistols. A lack of utility. There's not really much they can do to punish you.
Stewie will look to mid and can't quite spot the head behind the hut, and not yet inside event for NIP. With Electro gone, they have to slow down further with the pistols. Skylight blown out, immediate smoke on top of it. Cold will now be ready to fight. More so, they've got Tarek hugging the right side behind the boxes. That'll leave him inside of the smoke, some potential to catch them in transition toward the site. So bomb plant, not necessarily even possible. And with Cold taking down Get Right, that slows it further. It throws the bomb to Small Pit, which is out of the way of where they want it to go. This will get it back, but Cold has him too. Pretty straightforward.
Mission accomplished. No one goes down the CT side. The money begins to swell. Fur with $11,000 in the bank. That's not bad at all. On the CT side especially. I would say Cash is considered quite a T-sided map at this level. The percentages don't really suggest that, as my opinion, when I watch this level of CS for so long. It just feels like the T-side in the current meta is a little bit more powerful, but NIP now fully equipped for the first time, apart from Forrest, who doesn't have the helmet. It's a bit of an issue against those M4s available. Let's see what kind of approach got in mind. Maybe a set piece needs to be deployed, given this sort of a post-plant situation, as Fur looks to boost up his teammates. That's going to be Stewie 2K. We've seen a lot of this boost in this major so far when Cash has been played. The couple of times it has been, but very powerful position. We saw Issa raining down hell from there before. Wallbang attempt from Rez. You can see the bomb still down around T-spawns. They're not really going to be committing towards A just yet. Just going through their default right now. AWP of Forest. Been given the task to look for an ECT aggression. He's not necessarily challenging choke points right now. He's just watching A main. A common position for CTs to push, but Stewie, like we said, in that Shroud boost, he'll be happy to stay there. coldzera, the flash attempt towards B. I'm not sure that was quite deep enough. Fallen with his AWP towards middle. About to get some action, it seems. Not if Tarek can beat him to it. Lovely wombo combo here from the CTs. NIP just get completely dismembered as they make their way towards the mid area.
Looking super flat, not able to establish any early round control, map or manpower.
Forrest is done for.
Feet show. Stewie tries to fire into it, falls off, shuts the door, so he's not quite dead, but certainly found out. Keep in mind the flank as well. Not pushing because they don't need to. Tarek doesn't need to overextend, but all he's doing is sitting back to make sure that they cannot rotate back to B, which allows his teammates to get aggressive directly in front of Forrest, and they certainly do.
Well, talk about being painted into a corner. Good lord. 40 players jump through the smoke at the same time. 6-1 NIP. Indeed, very flat. That mid-take was pretty poor. Didn't really seem to be challenged at all there, the CTs. They were running out one by one. The fact that Fallen can survive behind the sandbags and find kills, and his teammates can look very comfortable segregated behind smokes, that's a bit of an issue. Has to be another partial buy here for NIP. CZ, smokes, a few flashbangs as we get into round number 8 here. CZs make their way towards Squeaky, but you can see Fur and Stewie on this side of the map. Maybe a bit of mistiming here. Forest will strike first, but Fallen protects Stewie there. Great teamwork coming in, and that should be the round secure. We'll see if there's any more kills available. Red's got a nice spot here. He can be the savior. Can't get to, runs out of ammo, but still a winnable situation now for NIP.
It certainly is, and finally is, we should say. Dennis still with the pistol. He'll sit on top of the bomb directly, but more importantly, Lekro has armor to go along with his AK. Cold and Tarek, they'll work together. They're both coming in from truck. They're taking their time for now. They want to use utility to try and push anyone out of position. In fact, they'll clear off both a main by way of a smoke and the forklift by a Molotov, which means they can immediately look left when they get in the site. They've already cleared 2 of the points. They can easily catch them off. Crossfire. Lekro gets one, only one. Dennis now with the pistol and manages to make it work. I wasn't sure he had an idea of where Cold went. I think he was expecting him to appear on the left.
Well, time is ticking away. Cold Zero and his AWP pushes forward. Comes down to the pistol maestro Dennis to pick up that second round. CZ's doing a great job here. Lekro just had to get that one kill. Luckily, last bullet collected before Cold Zero could take off his head. And there we have it. Still plenty of money here for MIBR, of course. Like we said, had so much cash, even has $8,800 even after the reinvestment. Tarek not yet purchased. Might go for the secondary orb once again. We'll see whether they want to do it. It's tactical timeout from NIP this time.
Well, they need it, right? I mean, no one, I shouldn't say no, excuse me. Pretty much no one. One player survives and it's a reset. I mean, it's
sure,
6 rounds in a row.
But it was an EK before, a partial buy. It's not completely destroyed. You can see Forest still have 3K, I think, after the investment. But yes, definitely reset potential there. They want to discuss what they can do with this, how they avoid it. Do they go for the set piece off the bat now? A bomb site seemed to be working for them in that particular round. Lekro throws away a flash just so he can buy a smoke or an incendiary, or Molotov I should say.
Same difference. Quick nade out to see if anyone was up close, wanting to push A main. No one was. Cold, meanwhile, boosted in the vents. We've yet to see this approach from MIBR and holding middle. It's not an uncommon one, but it's nice to throw in every now and then. See if utility gets used if they want to take mid to try and clear that off, as is also fairly typical. Forest just waiting with the op to see if anyone's going to push through, is not aware that Fallen has, so it's op versus op inside A main. Smoke dividing them, but who's going to find first? I think it's going to be Fallen because Forest is just off the angle. Fallen fires but gets away. Forest tried to guess where he was inside of the smoke on his retreat. No harm, no foul on either side.
Hitting the 1 minute mark, you can see them in another pretty static default right now. No one really pushing the envelope on any part of the map here. Rez, another wallbang attempt, actually quite a viable one. We've seen plenty of kills from that position. As Lekro looks for the counter boost towards middle. 45 seconds now. As the bomb's still down towards our mid warehouse. Get Right will be the one boosted up. He's got a Molotov in front of himself to clear out the close range encounters and push any CTs back. You can see now, aware of Fallen's previous position, going to be Molotoving towards sandbags.
And the third Molotov. That's the essential Molotovs for mid right there. Cold's out of the vent. They've pushed everyone else back. They have mid.
Well, they've got mid control now, but 25 seconds. They're going to have to pounce towards A here.
The reboost is huge too, because if they bounce toward A, Cold's going to be all over them on the flank immediately. Get Right, he's just barely going to tuck to the wall and be out of the line of sight from Cold, but he's still going to be hunting them down. Gets in behind, Get Right never had a chance. And on top of the site, Lekro does at least get Fallen, which will allow the bomb plant, but a 2-on-2, great hold from Forest, because during that plant they easily could have gotten closer. Cold's on 9 HP, Forest on the AWP is not much better off on 13. He's in the smoke. Who's going to spot the other first? Great read for Forest, and opt to win it out that close together with smoke down. That's an impressive shot.
Yeah, that's more like it. Forest willing to take the duel there as well. In the smoke, it looked like Cold Zero had outpositioned him, but he flicks up, takes him down. Knew he had to operate quickly there. Couldn't sit in the same position. They knew exactly where he was after this shot. Forest then moves out, looking towards that ladder position. Takes him down. 2 in a row for NIP. They avoid the reset and start to whittle down the economy of MIBR now, as they only have the single orb 4 M4s. They do have kits. It's still a full, healthy buy, but the residual cash is starting to be reduced dramatically. So there we go, 6-3. Right. Towards B, spamming the smoke for any CT pushes.
Just to note as well, when he fired at that window, it's relatively minor, but for newer players, he was actually penetrating through that and breaking out the skylight ahead of time too.
Yes.
Just gives them options later so that it's broken out ahead of time, and they won't telegraph it if it breaks later that they want to smoke through it, so just a standard thing. Big round from Forest, as you say, avoiding the reset. Their money's still not great because it was 2 1-on-1s essentially.
Yep.
But they've definitely give themselves a fighting chance, and they're starting, as you said, whittle down MIBR. Push up toward long. Rez has actually conceded that, doesn't want to challenge.
Yeah, Stewie's in squeaky door now. So he's got that locked down. He doesn't have to push any further, really, until they start feeling like it's going to be a B-side attack. Rez will boost teammate Lekro up. Bomb still down. They bolster their defenses towards B. Tarek rotates back in to help coldzera here. With Stewie's information gathered, the squeaky's clear. He's going to push a little bit further as well. Fallen even comes in to back them up. They've got a good read that it's going to be a B-side.
That's kind of why I'm surprised Rez didn't challenge that. It was like he knew that they were there. He heard the door and he backed off. But he just gave them that map control. Fallen back out, close range, good from Get Rights. Crosshair placement off, just Mouse 1, he's done that twice to coldzera the second, but he gets taken down on return. It's Tarek with 2 kills before Forrest finds him. It does lead to a 1-man advantage. NIP entering the site. Fur, gap in the smoke as it dissolves, can't spot anyone. All 3 are on the platform, so this is a buddy system if ever.
Stewie's got flashes. He could flash through the skylight potentially and get maybe Fur in a position. Doesn't look like he wants to opt for that. So what's the play here? How do they pincer this efficiently?
Exit kills. If they're all on top of the site, I mean, both teams are about to lose money. Give it a go if you can get the opening kill, but if you take everyone down from NIP, it's still going to keep them super honest in the long term. They're going to go. Longer this ticks on for, the more likeliness that bomb does blow up. It is on to Fur. Last alive, 1 versus 2. Tries to find both. Can't. Forrest gets the kill in time. Then I think everyone will survive, or the other 2, I should say, will survive. And 3 rounds in a row from NIP.
Indeed it is. And MIBR now might take a pause themselves. Money not amazing. Yanka trying to keep the morale up. That was the moment for me. I'm not sure why Fallen stuck around there so long. He really could have fallen back, and he heard them there on the other side. It was going to be so dicey trying to challenge at such a close range, and to be fair, that's normally what he's so good at, so you can't be too mad about it. So like I said, timeout here for MIBR. A chance for the coach to chime in and give advice on the financial situations right now, what they should do. You can see the money's okay, certainly not amazing. Tarek could drop a FAMAS and get them for himself. Stewie can buy for himself. The other 2 guys might be struggling there, but we'll see what happens. Maybe a partial buy is in order. They still have a lead for now. Fallen's been given the AWP. So what's the play here? Looks like they're not going to fully invest. They've bought the AWP. This is a mouse sports sort of play, reminiscent of their style, when Oscar does this on the CT side to get dropped the orb by a player that has a little bit more cash than everyone else. And then the idea is to save the orb, but maybe get an opening pick like that, and you can start funneling the terrorists to where you want them to go, where you've got the pistol stack on the other side of the map.
Too easy. And it just walks out. They'll certainly be aware of the op now. But as you say, opening pick, that's huge. You start to really dictate the pace of the rounds. Rez will sneak up middle. Stewie's made noise on the other side of the white box, throwing a flash as well, just a pistol. If Rez really wanted to, he could chase him down. He's going to be still just in the open. Oh, that's beautiful. Told you we were going to see some sexy Counter-Strike, Henry.
Not bad. You do that. Fallen, that's not as sexy. The miss comes through. It was a nice position to like that. As for challenges of the Eagle, that's going to be the hopes and dreams of that opening pick from Fallen. Falling by the wayside, I would say, because there's not really much they can do at this point. coldzera and Tarek, Deagle, one of which has no armor. They've lost the orb. Might as well look for some exit kills here. Rez has been tagged down to just 10 points of health, but I'm not sure they'll find him. It's a good position from Rez. Might be traded out here. coldzera, of course he does. Looking for one more. Get Right needs to be careful. He's no stranger with that Desert Eagle. Solo waiting. Looking to see if anyone will give him another opportunity with the Desert Eagle. Look for the one-taps. Hits Lekro in the end. Took a few more than one, but still causing damage here. It might just leave him be at this point. How much damage is he going to do? How is he still alive? Finally, they deal with him. And it will be a few rounds in a row now for NIP. 4 to be exact. Recovering. I wasn't sure if they were going to. Seen NIP fall apart at the seams after losing a few rounds, but this is much better. Forrest saved the day with the AWP, and it seemed to have lit the fire beneath the ninjas as they look very good.
And this came off of, the first round didn't, but the next 3 came off of a timeout. And I have to point that out, because whatever adjustment they've made is obviously yielding them rounds, but more so the fact that they are yielding rounds out of what was super unconvincing, and the ones that they lost is impressive. It's not like they were close in the others and now it's just finally going their way with some lucky breaks. They weren't even in the other rounds, so this is much, much better from NIP. Forrest on the op has certainly been a benefit, but this time it's going to be Lekro. B-side. Right. Great play. Terry pushed up middle to get in the vent, so it wasn't even blown out, and still he had the presence of mind to check it because they had no other presence inside of middle from the NIP side. GetRight continues with good form to find coldzera as well. Chris certainly wanting to get back into that top 8 position. They have the B site. It's a save from MIBR. This is a 6-6 game.
Definitely is. Nice execution there. You saw all the fire on the side. CTs had to just drop off the platform, get picked off by those AKs. Great stuff from GetRight. He's actually looked pretty sharper towards that B-bomb site. 5 versus 3, guaranteed save and round, as NIP will be hunting at this point. Forrest actually going towards Squeaky Door. He's got the most chance of actually finding any of these remaining CTs. This GetRight actually with his third, not bad. Enjoying his performance so far. Always good to see him post big numbers. Finally will go down, but Forrest looking to execute the final few players here. Fallen holds towards the CT truck, but he is getting isolated. I'm not sure they'll find him though. Players all around him, but looks like he's going to be absolutely fine. Misses the shot. Actually does not. I think he pegged him.
Did hit the leg.
Well, there we go. GetRight gets a well-deserved pat on the shoulder there from Peter. As, here we go. He's always been working towards B. But before, well, I guess NIP from 6 months ago, he would never really probe for kills. He'd just be holding for any pushes. He seems like he's got his confidence back in those sort of roles. And to actually challenge some kills and actually hitting the shots. So that's good to see.
It's good to see him, yeah. More so that, like, the typical GetRight we're used to seeing is doing that on the offsite after the take's already happened. It's nice to see him taking the helm on the same side. It's less predictable.
Sure, that's true. Just to note, there's a counter boost there. Well, just a boost in general above the smoke from MIBR. It's a very standard smoke thrown towards connector. If you have an AWP, like Fallen does, jump up behind it and see if any fast players go towards middle on the boost position. But it looks like another ace-out attack here from NIP. They really are running away over the last few rounds. Fallen misses the shot. Remember, they have not bought into this pistols and the saved AWP from the previous round. Nothing connecting for him just yet as they get ready to commit. They might just be baiting out a reaction at this point. They still have a couple of smokes remaining and they're going to fall back, so indeed they are.
Fallen waiting for this. He's checking the drop, but not the top side of it. Part of the reason that little garage, aside from being able to walk down it in middle for whatever strategy you choose, is so interesting because it covers off that position and he catches out Dennis eventually, continuing to shoulder peek it. So Fallen getting the opening kill yet again, the second time he has done so with the solo AWP. Rez gets Stewie back. They didn't win the last round either, and Fallen went down after finding the opening pick when he rotated toward A main. This time they're already out of A main. He won't get that chance. This coldzera is going to take the bomb out of their hands. That now means Fallen can hold off from the truck. The smoke will dissipate before they're out of the open, and he may have a chance to contribute further. Not if Forrest and GetRight have anything to say. They'll converge and take down Fallen as well as Tarek and Cole. Bomb to be planted. Actually, excuse me, round already done. I thought there was still one in rotation. Henry, I lost track for a moment. It was so quick.
It's all good. It was quite a chaotic moment there. But NIP look poised. They're actually winning rounds. Even when things start to fall apart, they're holding their nerve. No one's making any rash decisions, as that doesn't even matter to lose 3 players. We're coming to round number 14. They've all got plenty of cash here for us. 8k on him. They're going to have money. And so it's not a huge deal here. Double AWP set up again for MIBR. coldzera, 14 kills to his name. And the nade goes through. That might be quite effective. Not quite, but the shots, they certainly are. Tarek through the smoke, takes down Lekro. And he might find himself in a bit of trouble here. Takes a massive grenade, but it's Fur to get the second frag. GetRight goes down. And MIBR looking to tie things up here. We're going to have a close game on our hands as the smoke is deployed to extinguish the flames. And with a 25, NIP will just slow things down at this point and see whether the AWP can pick up the pieces. Dennis to wield it.
So again, they take a lead, but with guns. 2 kills this time, none from the AWP. They've got a great situation in their hands. Bring this back to a tie game in round 14. Just to note as well, although it seems to have made less of a difference, Forrest will clear Fur out of position. Subsequently, he gets forced inside of middle. He knows that that came from bottom side of highway, so checks it, smokes himself off, and likely will retreat. Gets away as well. I say that we snapped away from it, but Fur actually got back up inside. We saw the boost coming back in, so the secondary boost pays off and catches out Forrest. I thought that was clear. Rez, great shot in return, but Sui had already found Dennis as well. Rez Great shot on Fallen. Similar angle behind that forklift, which can be an awkward thing to fire at from time to time. Watch for Rez. This is incredible. Third headshot. Unfortunately, the ace was not quite there, but that was some damn good accuracy.
Yeah, well, that's what he's been known for. Just give him an AK, tell him what to do, and he'll find headshots. Rez can be a phenomenal aim star on his day.
Big win for MIBR, because the point I was starting to get to when the sort of action transpired in middle is, in all the rounds that NIP won, there was only one round that MIBR saved, which at the start didn't matter because they won 6 rounds and they built up an economy. But now toward the end of the half, it's really broken them down. So if they didn't win that, they would have been on a save or an eco, I guess you could say, playing for the end of it. Now they have a chance to actually go 8-7 up.
Yeah, absolutely right. Final round, who will take the slight lead going into that second half. Been a very back and forth game. MIBR came out of the trap hot. After winning the second round, FACEIT managed to get a huge amount of rounds on the board, but then NIP helped himself to a few as well, courtesy of Forrest's clutch. Stewie now holding towards middle, spotted by the AWP of Forrest there, but will fall back. Becker uses that cue to actually make his way towards short, finds an unsuspecting Fur, flashbang through. I think that'll be the cue to push the smoke and see what they can do towards CT spawn here. It's looking wonderful from NIP as they trade out kills and make their way towards the bomb site. Such good teamwork being deployed right now, and it's coldzera left in a 3 versus 1. AWP in hand, no kit, and a smoke to back him up. He has to go for a map, but it's very unlikely he wins it.
Very unlikely. He would benefit greatly from finding that early pick. The jumping. Rez behind the... Dennis behind the quad position. Cold, trying to bait out that he's gone up the ladder. There's an AK beside him, but he likes to stay with the AWP, perhaps because he knew he needed the precision to hit every shot, and the time was not in his favor. It does go 8-7, as I think was expected in that situation. For NIP, great recovery, because they were down 6-1 at a point.
They really were. NIP win the pistol, then lost 6 rounds in a row. Forrest wins the clutch after a timeout, with his first showing of the AWP. All of a sudden, they build massive momentum. You can see NIP have rejuvenated their cache. They've got some faster approaches now. Their defaults are looking strong. Get Right looks like he's got his confidence back towards B storage. MIBR had some great moments as well, but couldn't handle the teamwork towards the end, and their money did start to get destroyed. Still anyone's game. The door is wide open. Remember, it's the final team to make it through to the Wembley Arena. Wouldn't have thought it'd be between these two, but it's been an interesting major, up and down for a lot of teams here. MIBR receiving a 16-0 yesterday. If you didn't catch that one, it was very peculiar, but sometimes that's the way it goes. As we'll have 3 sets of armor here for the T side. No upgraded pistols, a couple of Molotovs. Interested to see what they do with those. Maybe flush out MBK and quad, smoke in front of the bomb site. We'll see which way they're inclined. For now, all 5 players on the A side of the map. Just Fallen and Squeaky. 3 in A main, and coldzera watching the flanks. Dennis will be alone at A. There's the smoke on the site. Molotov towards forklift, and maybe saving the other one for quad. There it is. Down it goes. Dennis now very good at the USP, but can't connect the first shot.
7 HP for Dennis. So, has to fall back temporarily, allow NIP to rotate around. By design, they wanted to play the retake on A. It's Rez that has the kit as well. He has a smoke too, keep that in mind. So if this gets chaotic and that smoke gets on the bomb and he or someone with that kit is still alive, we could have a pretty interesting situation for NIP. Here we go, Fur's gotten the kill. Now the benefit to this is Tarek is safe on top of the bomb. Dennis is gone, Tarek takes down both Electro and Get Right swings out. Looks like he might get Forrest, but he manages to survive long enough to get the shot of return. However, he's got 2 more to find as he finds at least coldzera, but the other 2 too strong. Stewie 2K gets the kill, 80.
Valiant effort there from Forrest, but perfectly executed strategy from MIBR. The Molotov, the smoke combo, the headshots especially from Tarek were enough to guarantee the round at this point. coldzera, that kill pretty much did it. Forrest managed to get 1 back, but Stewie too sharp with the Glock. 8-8, we are all tied up. It's the first map of a best of 3. Throughout this section of the majors, all been best of 1s. When it's all to play for, you know, the 2-2 team, we changed to best of 3. Get Right with the scout. Not known to be a sniper, I'll say that much. Let's see what he can do with the lesser of the 2.
Cold. Mac 10 does at least get to the sunroom. Rez won't exactly challenge that. Speaking of challenge, Dennis certainly was faced with one, with Fur sneaking up inside of middle, AK certainly poised, and clean kill. MIBR just needs to be careful at this point not to give away either of these next 2 rounds. Get that 3-0 start, make this 10-8, see if they can hold on against NIP.
Oof, good shot by Tarek. Alright, Scout won't be finding him any kills this particular round, looking to save it at this point. Currently scoped towards the vents, not connecting the shots, very difficult ones to be fair. We'll pick up the fallen CZ of Forest, I believe, as Rez holds on for any hunting players. Flashbang's good, but the shot with the CZ might be a little bit better here. If he gets another one, fantastic by him.
If he had more ammo, I dare say he would have got the 3rd there as well, because it looked like the headshot was going to connect. Fur makes up for it, gets back in, finds Get Right, and MIBR do exactly that. Hold on at this point. They keep the AK as well, the only one that was in play. To some extent, you can... If you lose those SMGs, sure, they didn't get any return on investment for them, which is part of the intended goal. Yeah. But you're going to upgrade before you either go for the bonus or you're going to upgrade either way, so it's not a huge loss.
On the T side especially, it's fine. You're up against a full eco now. You're going to get more cash, and we'll see whether NIP want to go for any particular stack or a push, or just hold up. Grenades thrown towards highway. I think they naded themselves there. Can we get a replay of that potentially? I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I don't think CT's wore any grenades. Anyway, it's fine. Just a bit of a awkward moment. They didn't really lead anywhere else. As we'll get into the next round, MIBR will have double digits first. NIP with just potentially rifle set. Don't think they can afford the AWP. They could, but it'd be glass cannon, no utility whatsoever. Mac 10, UMP on the T side. Tactical timeout from OBR. So Yanko wants to get involved here and work out what's the play. They've got the pistol, they've got the SMGs, with that running gun potential unarmored heads as well. Rez is the only one actually. Money's not too weak for an IB. So what does Yanko come up with? Does he want to go for something fast-paced here, considering he has those lighter weapons available? If you can win this round, it's so beneficial. Not only do you get a ton of money in reserve, but you also
you break
send
them
the
down
CTs
again.
down to another eco after that, indeed.
Yep.
So what's the play?
And that as well is, especially when you have this T side, this opportunity to break them down with the SMGs, then you get an eco, another round, you can use them again and continue to build that cash. Pretty remarkable way to start a half. Dennis, box boost in A site will allow him to see inside of A main for anyone's helmet or dome that dare walk out. Only challenging there as of yet, but there is Stewie out toward the doorway with his Mac 10. Not uncommon, I think, especially from North American teams, if you want to talk about Tarek coming over to this squadron, but to play someone in that door, just hold it, wait, get information.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely, that's why Stewie will be right now, opens it up. And he'll be trying to bait out some utility here. Looks like the execution with Stewie to come out squeaky door. So he needs all the smokes down, flashes. He thrives in chaos. Likes to get stuck in with the SMGs. Got great mechanical movement skills. Smoke starting to be deployed. Here we go. Stewie now not fully committed just yet. It's trying to make Lekra feel a little bit uncomfortable. Takes some bullets though. Smokes down on top of the bomb site to remove vision from everywhere. Yes. Dennis can't do anything. Lekra's getting Molotov'd here. Looks good for an IBR. Can they find the first kill?
Oh, that was a beautiful flash. I'll come back to that because that was a huge detail in the take of the site. Great play for Forrest. Looks above on the forklift, but they've already lost the bomb plant. That's happened already, and there's 2 players left against 4 of MIBR. We just talked about this. This would whittle the CTs down once again, and there's no kits. They've got to save. That flash was amazing. You said said it. Oh, and this is Cold Zero. He was waiting the whole time toward Useless to wait and see if he could lurk. They may not even get away with a gun here. But you said it. Stewie thrives on chaos. He opened the door. He baited out of the utility. Waited for all of the smokes to deploy before entering the site.
Indeed.
But the problem was he had to wait so long for them to come through him in. The smoke in front of the door was actually gone, and he was being stared at from Catwalk. Flash came in. Player on Cat can't see him. He runs around the corner, gets a kill in the MAC-10, and then in walks his teammates, and Fur gets 2 more. And that was a beautifully timed flash.
Yeah, great strategy, good timings, and pretty much perfect there from MIBR. It has to be the eco. He did say if they could win that particular round, they would get a ton of money, as you can see, available to the T side here, and the CTs were left reeling as they are on around $3,000.
Cold does realize as a bullet goes through the wall and heads his direction that there's some challenge toward B, so he'll fire back into it, try and squander any aggression that these pistols of an IP will present. No stack, just to note. You could almost justify gambling on a stack right now if you're an IP.
Well, we know they're capable of winning with the Eagles, CZs, P250s. Couple of sets of armor there. I'm just going to look at the scoreboard while we're here. We have a few moments. Let's see if we can see any anomalies or interesting moments. Dennis, for me, he has the pressure of the in-game leader responsibility removed at this point, and he's still 6 and 16. He's supposed to be one of the absolute stars of this team, not putting his best foot forward in the initial map here. Haven't really mentioned his name at all yet so far while we've been casting this map. A bit of a shame. Thought he would really come into his own once Lecro took over. But either way, Tarek at the very top with Burr on 19 kills. The bottom has fallen with 10, so they're doing a good job of distributing the frags out evenly. Molotovs in again. Even though they're up against pistols, you want to use all your utility here. There's so much on the line, and these players are very capable of finding ahead if you give them a chance. So Forrest will open things up, but Fallen doing a great job with Forrest's weapon, I believe, pushing forward, finding the kills required.
Ooh, awkward.
Yeah, it's fine though. Dennis unable to do much damage today. Only 2 go down. Considering the money they have, that's absolutely fine. Tarek with $12,000. Stewie and Fallen both in 5K, 5 digits as well, so that's absolutely fine. Round 21. And the orb comes out, this time in the hands of Lecro. It's quite reminiscent of NIP when they had Pitt in the lineup as well. It was Forrest Orby on the T side, and Pitt would take over the CT side. So that's what they're going for here as well. Lecro will open things up. Quite capable of the orb himself. Could be a change of pace from LBR. Looks like a B split to me right off the bat. Players waiting in the storage area for any aggression with the CTs. Still struggling for cash. Lecro with just 1 smoke. They've got a couple of kits. Coming into the last few rounds here, what feels like MIBR taking a firm lead.
Stewie not able to find Rez in time, so NIP finally holding firm, but Rez with 4 HP. That's all after the exchange. Trying to get as much information as he dared. Doesn't want to overstep the mark, so he couldn't actually see toward the drop, and that means Fur is up on top of it and saw his foot, no question about it. So he's just holding at this point, waiting for Get Right to actually decide to go beyond the mark and get caught out by it, but he's going to take matters into his own hands. Sees him again. Now Get Right spotted him. Now he backs off. Self-preservation flash. There we go.
Well, Stewie's gone down. Rez feeling the burn. Like I said, B split was looking likely to me. Looks like that's where we'll end up. That's most for CT. Forrest is waiting there with the counter flash. Rez might have to get out of there. The flame's a little bit too much, as they'll actually have an open sight. But they're waiting up towards him and can't connect the shots though. Get Right doing a great job through the smoke. A ton of damage inflicted, and he's maintained the man advantage. Coming out to the 15-second mark, not close to the bomb site with the plant just yet. Cold Zera makes the leap of faith, and we'll be able to do just that right now. There it is. Not the best of plants, but he wants to guarantee it.
Get Right couldn't afford to respray on that either. 16 HP. Tracers on the M4A4. So the second smoke rules and renders him useless as the bomb does cross over. You're right, it was a leap of faith for good lurk in mid. Getting toward the vents would have been massive because the two players on top of the site wouldn't have had any way to go. Fur's able to rather Cold to hold position. Good play from Lekro, but can't rebolt the op in time. And Cold manages the round for MIBR. Yet to win a round so far, NIP on the CT side. Now, they lost 6 rounds in a row on the T side as well.
Yes.
But CT side money is a more dire situation.
It really is, and they can't really buy here, Matt. This is do or die time for an IP. You take the force buy, go with the FAMASes, a couple of M4s, maybe some UMPs, and try and battle. Or do you take the more conservative approach here and hold tight, get the pistols out, see if you can squeeze out a picture with Desert Eagles, CZs, they're all hovering around the 4K mark. No one really discussing too much there. They do have the timeout called. Forest waiting for the orders. It looks like they will go with Deagles and armor here. 3 smokes. They will try and treat it like a usual gun round here. Lekro, Forest and Geraint all on 20 frags, just to note that. As we get into round 22 now.
Fallen just watching this smoke for obvious reason. Wants to make sure if anyone pushes through, he's ready for the first. Certainly was ready for a push. He's gotten Lekro down at mid. So an IP on the back foot again already with the pistols. Molotov's going in, bouncing away from Rez, so he's able to safely get back inside the confines of the B site. Great shot, get right. CZ from Forklift, am I not mistaken? No, okay, he was actually sneaking in from long. Either way, well struck.
Just to know, my GUI is reversed. It's not NIP, that 20 frags. It's Tarek, Fur, and Cold Sarah. It's the other way around.
There you go. There's a command for that. I can't remember what it is.
I know, and I should be using it by now, but I don't know it either. So we're just going to continue like that didn't happen. Either way, 13-8. This is one of those rounds where you would think MIBR going to run away with it. But the fact that GetRight has an AK now, the way he's been playing, there's a chance here. And Rez has looked pretty sharp in these sort of situations when he's got his back to the wall, only got a pistol in hand, and finding headshots. So why not? Keeps challenging and finding the kills. He has looked great in terms of the aim. This will be the first round NIP picked up thanks to those Deagles. So along the line here.
Clever position from Rez to play. That seemed obvious. Just slightly off angle. Cold walks out. Tarek walks out. Forrest is gone. Beautiful shot with the AK. Rez now has to use that Deagle aggressively because they know where he is this time. GetRight has gotten inside of the vent with the AK. It's a tough position to get out of, but he manages to get Fur first. So now all he really has to do when he drops in is check to his left. Fallen's vacated that and actually gives him access, but it gives the op a much longer and more effective angle. Flash goes high. Molotov already came in. Tarek can't step beyond the box. They're going to hug the wall towards small pit, but Fallen is aware of that and all too easily collects Dennis. GetRight now has to do it all with just the AK. No kit. Keep in mind, he knows Fallen's on the left. Goes for him, and it doesn't even matter. Fallen brilliantly takes him down. 14 rounds MIBR.
He's so good in those close proximity sort of situations, Fallen. That's what I really noticed him way back in like Cologne 2015. It's like when he first started coming to the majors. I remember just watching him and thinking, how is anyone hitting those shots close range like he does? It's pretty mad. His awareness, his timings, his positioning, it's all quite beautiful when it comes together. 14-8. Fallen manages to negate the AK-47 of GetRight there, and it will be Rez and Lekro with the double AWPs this time. You can see it's a bit odd for me. That's why I'm never a big fan of hybrid teams that like move the AWP around. Forrest will be dropped straight away there, trying to have a clever little play through the smoke. Didn't work out for him. Fallen was ready and waiting. GetRight now in the vent. Is there any sort of reaction from the CTs here? It doesn't look like it. They are boosting one player up, I should say, though. GetRight towards middle. He'll have to go with some sort of play here. I don't think he can just rest on his laurels. As Rez will miss the shot there. Difficult one, to be fair.
So Force down again. Nothing at all from NIP on the CT side. After such a great turnaround in the first half, I was really thinking that there would be a lot more on offer from NIP. But they've just never gotten control of the situation of the money, and MIBR continues to just run away with the half. We'll see if that happens again. With Forrest already down, it certainly could well do. Get Right waiting to see how much pressure will be applied toward middle. He's certainly aware that they're on top of the boost based on the trajectory of the nade that landed behind him, and that still isn't enough to take down Fur.
The timing was so brutal then. Get Right had his crosshair completely zoned in on the boost area. He drops it down for a second to check another angle. That's when Fur comes around the corner, of course, and it will be a 5 versus 3 looking for map point here. Remember, best of 3 for the first time today. Dennis is done for. He really has not looked his best. He's still on 6 and 20. I don't think he's got to kill this half.
I have to check that within the UI, but Lacro quick enough to take down Tarek, but good luck surviving. He actually did get Stewie. He could have jumped away from Colt, but there was really nowhere further to run. MIBR's on map point, map 1. Remember, best of 3s today for these 2-2 games. So they've still have a chance, but man, oh man, convincing, I have to say, from MIBR.
Yeah, well, with maximum loss bonus and a full investment in the previous, I think we know which way this one's going. NIP now needs 7 rounds in a row to force out overtime. We'll have FACEIT and a UMP there. There's only 1 kit available, and they're going to have to try their absolute best here to hold MIBR off. Definitely can be done. We've seen some pretty sensational comebacks. Even in the previous matchup there, we saw FaZe manage to come back from like a 15-9 deficit, so definitely can be done. It's just a long, grueling affair as Rez will open things up. He's not giving up just yet, but maybe Electro is. He'll be dropped by Fallen. 4 versus Thor, but Dennis still there at the precipice of the A bomb site.
Dennis is going to try and time his peak to perfection from behind Fork. As soon as the door opens by Stewie. Mid battle's super important in this as well, because if you have 2 players on the site and they win that as well, it's basically a 4-on-2 to take the site and get the plant, which then relies on rotations. It would be Forest going down, meaning you're relying on just Rez to rotate, and that is exactly what has happened. They now control highway. Fortunately, in all of that, Dennis did get a defensive kill directly on the A site, so it slows the takedown and allows Rez to adjust accordingly. Tarek now holding for a bit. Wait again for, looks like Stewie to get back to the door. Look how weak they are as well, though. Stewie on 24, Fur on 2. So now that NIP's rotated with 24 seconds, this is their best chance to win a round. Wide. Forklift is awkward, but Dennis makes good on it, takes down Tarek. The last 2 players combined for a total of 18 HP, make that just 2 and just Fur. As he tries to do what he can, he'll get taken out by Get Right. 2 kills for him to close the round, and there we go. NIP finally gets on with 1 on the CT side.
Well, there we go. 15-9. NIP keep himself in the game. Now 6 rounds in a row. AKs will be out in full force on the CT side. Rez and Dennis wielding those. Dennis actually gets 2 frags in that previous round, taking his total to 8. Get Right still on the UMP for now. He's actually got 20 kills to his name. Good to see him performing well. They might not be able to win this map, but they're all stepping up having their own individual moments, especially Get Right looking more confident than ever. He takes a nade to the face. As it looks like that A execution could be coming in, maybe more of a contact play here. Stewie alone in Squeaky Door once again. As I'll have 2 there. Oh my goodness, the timing is sublime. They'll push forward, and they've smoked off main entrance. This could actually all fall apart though, as Fur will come barreling out of the main entrance, and now Dennis is isolated on the site. Get Right just to the UMP, holding short.
Yeah, tries to bait up the ladder as well. Get closer, sees them in the corner. They know they're going for a T-sided boost. There's 2 players there. They could do it. I think Tarek's just holding on for now. Get Right surely knows that there's 2 there. That player that high, it's not like they have stilts available to the T side in this game. Cold with 1. Get Right was waiting the whole time, did catch out Cold 0, but Fallen able to respond on the Dennis. It still remains in a 2 versus 2. That's going to change it. Bomb caught. Tarek on low HP, and a smoke down that's now isolated. There's 55 seconds, and Fallen trying to go for that bomb gets caught out by Get Right, so that's well done, and you're right. The timing was great, but Get Right and NIP, they need a little bit of luck right now to get back into this.
Down but not out. Get Right and co fighting back admirably here as they refuse to give in. Fallen with the wallbang through the bombs. I didn't notice that. That's kind of insane. My God. All right then. You don't see that too often, let me tell you. Well, it wasn't enough.
If I'm not mistaken, that has to go through the strap, like the dark parts as well.
I'm not sure, to be honest. It's very rare to see.
Yeah, I've never even actually attempted that shot. says enough about me.
Fair enough. Just to note, this is MIBR's pick, remember, and MIP actually picked a Mirage. That one's not so much a punish. Every team can pretty much play that. But either way, 5 rounds in a row to go. MIP at least making this competitive now, actually looking like they've woken up a little bit on the CT side. This will be the final buy from MIBR before they have taken eco. Let's see what they can do with it. Fallen has to go down to just the Galil. This might be the same execution towards the A side. Remember the one before? It had the smoke on top of the bomb side to block Dennis's position. One to the left of that. Molotovs on the sites. One at MBK, one at quad. Flash over, going together with Stewie alone at the door. There are those smokes again. Not the one on the side though. I think it might be a slight variation of that smoke miss on the bomb side. That's what they did before. We'll see how it transpires now. Molotov towards the forklift, and in they go.
Dennis waiting this time closer to the door, knows exactly what will transpire. Wait for the flash as well. Get right already with one. Stewie still manages to get Dennis. Fantastic shot of response from Lecro. Stewie still in this though, and he's stupendous as he finds a third. It's Lecro down. He nearly gets him taken out. They'll Molotov off as well. He goes back for the bomb. He's looking for an ace against Rez and Forrest, who are much healthier in this situation. 24 seconds. As soon as he commits to the plant, I imagine Forrest will take an approach to walk to the site. He wants the op, gets it, throws that gun a little far. Was that spotted from truck or not? He's going to get the bomb plant down and backs off. Molotov won't quite catch him, but he's got to be very careful about his positioning because Rez is getting closer toward the wall. He's got the corner covered off. The second Rez goes out. Does he fire? Good little bait from the barrel, and Forrest fires back.
There we go then. Stewie 2K could have closed it out, but got completely destroyed by the utility. The HE in the pocket, the AWP picked up, and then just completely isolated by the CTs. Great stuff from Get Right once again. You can see all the smokes, very difficult to deal with, but they look calm, and they managed to keep their heads above water once again. Could we be looking for, I think, the 32nd overtime in the major so far? Pretty unreal scenes. And it looks like it has to be the partial buy. MIBR now giving up 3 rounds in a row. Money definitely broken. It's actually looking possible now for an IP.
Yeah, overtimes have been fairly common.
Yes.
Throughout this entire major. A little bit less so in the Legends. Well, I shouldn't say that. There was still quite a bit. Like Hellraiser's played like 3 of them. Cloud9 played 3 of them.
We've had every series today go overtime. So
yeah,
this one would just be, it just makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Anders, stop messing with the simulation. Does that mean dead? I haven't really been paying attention. Am I kicking a dead horse on that one?
In what, sorry?
Never mind.
Okay.
Lecro. That's unfortunate. Was sitting there with the op rather than firing into the smoke when he probably would have had to let them go by. Wow. Get Right certainly will not.
Good stuff.
Hat trick at the bottom of highway. Den gets absolutely obliterated, but fair play. His job's done. Dennis and Lecro clean it up. They'll do exactly that. 15-12. No bomb plant on that, which is also an important note, given that they are getting into a 4th round loss bonus. They did have one in the previous round, so there'll still be a healthy enough buy, but look, I just wanted to mention it, all right?
We'll see whether Fallen wants to bring out the AWP. 5k to his name. I would say probably not. Doesn't need it. Definitely capable of using the AK, but things now starting to fall apart slightly for the Made in Brazil squad. Fallen still thinking about his decision going forward. Lecro and Get Right operating at maximum capacity in the last few rounds. Get Right especially mowing them down. Looking like he brought his A game here. He said in the last game they played, when they dropped to 1 and 2, he said that he didn't practice the day before, and for this game especially, he's playing all the FPLs, all the deathmatch he possibly can. Feels like that's when he plays his absolute best, and you can see it working out quite nicely for him. It's the sharpest he's looked probably all tournament.
12,000 souvenirs dropped this day so far, according to the counter. Forrest nades in. They'll stack those up to try and get some damage onto Fallen. He's a little bit too far away to take any from that, but Rez is going to push through. We haven't seen a push into B-main yet. Fallen has been watching this smoke every single time, and that's what Rez did not know.
Indeed, it was Forrest who was taken down before. Rez, not scared of giving the round away. He wants to fight for those kills. You've got to respect it. He does go down though, 5 versus 4. Could this be the round that closes it out for MIBR? Cold Zera edges towards the bomb side, but he's going to be taken down. He's going to check this. Oh, it's a shame. Such a common position as well. And down he goes, 4-4.
Forrest didn't exactly make that look super accurate, but it was far too easy anyway. There was no way he wasn't getting the kill. But you're right. To not check that seems somewhat peculiar given the situation. Perhaps they thought Rez being so far forward would be the only real positioning they'd have toward the B site. Fur gets boosted up. He'll head over toward Cubby. Drop down. Highway next. 2-2 split. No mid presence at all from NIP. Which also means longer rotations, specifically from B to A, because the player at truck obviously can get to B a little more quickly, but they don't have anyone boosted in the vents to try and rotate in behind them and flank them out toward mid. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if one MIBR player here, of the three that are in middle right now, continues on and goes towards spawn. Spotted though. Dennis does see first. Dewey's going to do exactly that. Try and get in between the CTs. And position for Fur. Behind the ticket booth. Desperate is Forrest to try and, Dennis to try and get him down. Fur gets away with it, but look at the kills in response because they are in the back line. Somehow, no spray from Stewie. Get right gets the kill, and that might be enough to keep NIP alive. 5 seconds, no plant can get to it. Round is over.
No money for Fur as he'll hide in the corner now. Oh my goodness, Stewie had the game in his hands there. 2 players in front of him couldn't connect the dots with the AK-47. And NIP now brought it to 2. 15-13. Has to be the eco for one, I'd imagine, as well from IBR. They need the money for the last round here. Great mental composure from the Ninjas, I have to say. Didn't think they had it in them. But now, with 5 rounds in a row, just 2 away, and this is a partial buy from IBR. They got the CZ, Deagles, and an AK. Definitely still a powerful combination, don't get me wrong. They definitely are capable of winning these rounds, but NIP definitely have the advantage.
This is almost a repeat of the first half.
Yep.
MIBR get a massive slew of rounds. Looks like NIP has nothing in response, and then boom, suddenly it all, like the flick of a switch, changes directions. Lacro, Dennis again. They'll shut down MIBR's take on the A sites. AK still in play because Fallen was able to grab that after his teammate went down. He'll take a bit more damage from the flames. Has armor to work with, but only that 23 HP. As soon as Cold plants this bomb, it might be worth it to try and, never mind, transfer that AK over to him, but he'll stay on the Deagle. Knows that that AK is down behind him. If he finds 1 kill, he might be able to get toward it, but a 1 versus 5, that's a pretty sexy kill. Nearly got a chance for a second, but they were all on the corner, all firing at him as a squad, and it's now 1 round on round 30.
It is. I can't believe they did this after going down. What was it? 8-0 in the second half. They've now got 6 rounds in a row. Pretty remarkable. But remember, we discussed this, or at least Des did. Sometimes getting it this close and then losing can be the worst way to do it. And instead of just taking the quick loss. So we'll see which way it ends up. NIP now 1 round away from overtime. The full reset here on Cash.
Astralis versus Liquid comes to mind.
Yes, indeed. Been plenty of games on Cash with Heartbreak.
That was on Inferno, mind you, sorry. But nonetheless, just that comeback from Astralis.
Oh, that one,
and
okay,
then,
sorry.
Yeah, in the 3-0 game when Liquid qualified. And Sean made that
that was when it was 13-2 in the first half.
Yeah.
And then they come back to overtime and then they win 90-15, yeah.
Yeah. So an op on either side. It's Lecro and Fallen. Let's get right gut. There's got to be, okay, there's a couple guns down. Including that of an auto sniper. I'm not sure if you... Was that not an auto sniper that I saw? I thought there was one in spawn. There is, so they've elected just not to use it. Maybe they'll pick that up for a certain situation. If they rotate back and there's smokes down, they could spam through with it, but... That or they decided against it. It doesn't matter because it's round 30. It's not like they wasted money. Get Right's going to hold toward middle. Smoke in front of him. He has to concede and rotate back off of it. I say he's going to rotate. He likes not to. He's actually just going to be patient. They don't want to give up mid too easily. MIBR has been fairly decent at getting toward mid. There's no question about that in this game. Smoke from Fallen. Dennis has a bit to work within that and makes perfect on it. Fallen gone already. That's op down towards Squeaky. Here comes Fur again, though. He's been so good on Highway. Get Right's unaware that he's up that far. He's still watching toward the vents because he heard Tarek go that direction. And Rez forced out, gets obliterated by him, but Get Right does go after Fur in the end. So still the advantage to NIP. Forrest left alone on B. Dennis has the bomb. Forrest doesn't have to do much. Just stay alive, stay efficient. They're going to boost back up because they need to get the bomb back from middle, and this is the quickest means of doing so, but 2 players left alive. That's it. Cold Zero somehow get Dennis should have had that. He even panicked.
Yeah, it's short. Oh my god. Stop challenging him. 20 seconds. Cold Zero, give him an inch, he's going to take a mile, but luckily Lecro's there to give them a huge advantage at this point. Bomb down, 10 seconds, we're going to overtime. Who would have thought? It took 7 rounds in a row after being 8-0 down in the second half, but NIP have brought it right back. Everything's reset at this point. Another overtime in FACEIT Major. So every series today is at overtime. That's pretty remarkable. We stay on the same sides. NIP continue their CT campaign. Get Right in regulation got 31 frags. I haven't said that for a couple of years. Good stuff from him.
Yeah, and you said it. Looking more aggressive on actual site takes, playing with confidence, not just lurking and going for the off site. What I mean by that is if they're attacking A, he's at B and vice versa, and catching kills on rotation, which is something that he certainly made a trademark for a long time. Keep in mind, it's Mirage and Train coming up. Train if required, obviously. No guarantee we get that far. I dare say NIP needs cash in this series. I think it'll be a fight on all 3 maps.
It will be.
But I think cash is the key.
Well, they've managed to give himself a chance now. It was looking oh so bleak as a faster play towards middle comes in from MIBR here. The fast boost. Tarek there with the bomb just to know. Not the most intelligent place for it, but might want to throw that away. Still up there for now. That goes down. All of a sudden it's given up towards middle. That's exactly what I mean. Well demonstrated, Forrest.
And the bomb fell all the way down too. They can't even get it by boosting.
That? It's an absolute nightmare. I couldn't even give you a reason why Tarek's got the bomb in that position. That's them not thinking.
That said, they don't keep a lot of pressure on middle, so they'll get that bomb back. But you're right, it does cost them a bit to do so. Smoke to the top of Red Box or behind it, and also the top of Highway now countered suggests to me exactly this, that they want to actually use Highway to open up the A site somewhat. There's no one inside of A main, so it would almost be a pick strategy at this point. But it also confirms to Fur that no one's around the corner and they can retreat safely with that bomb, which they've now done, and they've headed over toward the B site. Rez, he's going to be waiting behind the box, but forced out again. Tarek won that battle last time. It's Fur and Stewie instead that go through the vents. He's actually going to smoke himself off, keep himself alive. Molotov Stewie out, and Forrest is able to capitalize on that as a result. So very well designed play, or counterplay, I suppose you could say, in direct response to what was thrown his way. Now they know he doesn't have a smoke this time. Second one surely has to move him out of that position, and it will, and Cold does get him. So 3-on-3. Fallen says otherwise and makes it 3-on-2. Dennis down in mid. Fallen's op finally started to contribute yet again. 20 kills now in total for him.
Towards B they go. Forrest, though, can shut this all down. Timing, perfect. The spray, not quite. Definitely was on for 2 there, but now leaving Lecro in the very difficult situation. He'll have to throw away that orb for sure. Finds the M4A4 on the ground. Has got time to try and win this one. It's overtime. Finds a kill on the floor and incendiary. If he goes for the wall bang attempt, there's a chance, but no. Repositioning for... puts himself into a safer position here. Incendiary on the side. Could actually flush Fallen out, but all the wrong ways possible.
Yeah, timing not there.
Yeah, well, there we go. Will be MIBR to find their first round after losing 7 in a row.
Isn't that always the way it goes, though?
Indeed.
Like, teams that have the comeback, it's seldom that they win the first round in overtime. And my theory to that is mental reset, one part of it, but also economy reset. Puts you back on a level footing. Now the question is, can NIP respond? Again, remember it is 10K, not 16K overtimes. Meaning that CT side, you lose twice, you're going to be in a pretty precarious position. Financially, as you can see, the money just disappeared, but it was $900 at best for Rez. There it is. Thank you, production. But Rez has the highest amount. It's only 3 digits.
Smokes out. MIBR now might fall back into that execution-based gameplay. It was working very well for them. But coldzera and Fur looking likely to be boosted up here. Can even get 3 up there if you really want to sometimes.
3's a crowd.
It is sometimes, but this is just looking at the A split where 2 players focus heavily towards that high with the smoke usually landing at the top there by the ticket booth. We'll see if they're that way inclined. Actually, Fur drops down. And this could be another contact plate. They'll fall into open things up, then they strike together. Stewie normally alone towards that squeaky door. This round is no different. Necro smoked off, but Flash is starting to be deployed now.
Dennis waiting. Tries to work that fence to his advantage, but couldn't do so because there was 2 players facing when he went out. 2 better than 1, as Stewie also gets get right, but 2 from Lecro and Forrest. coldzera does get 1 back bomb, gets planted. It could be back-to-back rounds, and that money gets brought into question. It's Lecro that wants to start moving closer with the AWP, but look at this positioning from Cold. No chance for Rez. Knew the whole time that Rez was still alive, and he is the B player. Stewie finds Lecro. It's 17-15. Clean sweep could be on the cards the first half of overtime. You need 19 to win out this game.
You do, and MIBR.
19 in the first overtime. You could get 19 in the second, technicality. Just to...
I feel like Dennis had the right idea there. He looked like he wanted to shut the door and sit in front of it, get aggressive, then just got it towards MBK, which is just a pre-fire. I feel like he was doing very well, got flashed, had to go back to the compromised position, was looking for one, couldn't find it. It's been a slow game for him. Has got himself up to 14. But 2-0 down, and especially on the CT side map, it's 10k MR3, not 16k like it is in other tournaments. The major is slightly different, meaning you have 3 rounds of play. You start with $10,000. That sounds like a lot, which it is, but if you lose the first round, the second round is certainly compromised, and the third is completely ruined. So MIBR looking, they've got a bit of a gimme here. As you can see, CZs, Deagles, UMPs. A conversation to be had about overtimes, whether it should be 16k. This got its flaws as well, certainly not perfect. Best thing to do is just win all the rounds. That's my advice. Then you won't have to deal with it.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Kill all the bad guys, win all the rounds.
Yeah, then you won't have a problem.
Fur again to Highway. He's done this all game long. Get Right was ready for it. CZ gets the kill. Love to have that AK, but yeah, no chance.
No trade, no flashbang. Pretty weak from Fur, but still, Tara gets a kill and response eventually.
Rez forward of the box. UMP wants it to be close. Remember, he's pushed the smoke, but only once. Fallen was the man to get him down. This time he's not pushing the smoke. He's hoping that they're going to walk to him instead. Pre-scoped. He's cleared off all the other angles, so if he walked any further, I wouldn't be surprised to see Vaughtland's crosshair snap up to that right side just to be sure. Now he is on top of the box too, so... a leg shot wouldn't do in that case. I said that. His angle now suggests otherwise. Gun barrel's going to show. Easy. Good response from Rez. AWP available. Rez is unfortunately over there by himself at this point with a UMP, so who would possibly pick up that AWP? It would be Lecro, but he's already on the rotation. He's already back toward the site. So too, now it's Forrest. Stewie, good spray down. Gets both of the players in A. Rotation is all that remains. Rez has swapped over to the AWP. He made that decision late, but Forrest starts the charge. He wants to go in and get the information for the ops. He's one behind quad. Flash out, besides he'll run. Get close, and close, nearly. Close as well on the kill, but not enough. 7 HP left for Stewie.
Not really much Rez can do with this one, Matt. 3-0, pretty much 100% confirmed. If he had the M4, give him a fighting chance. He'll do whatever he can here, but as soon as he fires one shot at the AWP, that's when he's vulnerable. That's when you strike, especially when you've got the man advantage. And down he goes. Loser goes out of the tournament. Winner goes through to the SSE Wembley Arena. And it's looking like, at least in the first map, the MIBR have edged it. But there's no reason why NIP can't do the exact same back. We've seen plenty of scenarios where you go 3-0 up on the T side, especially, then it can all fall apart. Let's see what they've got in mind here. Yanko dishing out the orders there. Discussing their options. Now remember, with a 3-round buffer like this map, you might be feeling a little bit saucy, perhaps. Go for
I'm always feeling saucy.
The killing blow, perhaps. Go for like a rush on the CT side. Send 3 players towards B store. It is something surprising, just the fact you've got a small buffer to work with and see what you can do with it. Like, it's a really exciting place to be as an in-game leader. It's like, I can experiment in this first round. I can try and close this out with something quite fascinating. But the T's have actually bought 2 orbs at the beginning. Now, with 10k.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
It's win or bust.
I guess you're probably right at that point. If you do lose a round, it doesn't matter. That is a very good point.
Micro's already out toward A main. No utility at all thrown that direction as of yet.
So Get Right gives himself an AK as well. So he'll hold with the orb at the very start and then pick up the AK like he has now and then go through his usual fly paths. So smoke in, flashbang through, wait for the reaction, shoot the window. You talked about that before. Then he'll head towards checkers eventually. Nothing too surprising just yet. There we go. Bit of a play.
Solid play at that. Res down again. That gives them control of long. We've seen them take a few rounds by doing so and also pushing forward to get the information. They won't go through this time. They actually fall back on it. Double up setup still in effect. They've already confirmed that Get Right was over toward B, so they knew that they were in their default. That actually might be something that they telegraphed that play off of. They said, all right, if Get Right's over toward B by himself, he's blown out the window, he's thrown the nades, then the other part of their default is that they always have someone in squeaky. So they just say, all right, let's just 2 players push that. That tells us they're in the default setup. So
sure,
it's possible that they reacted strictly off of that.
Especially if you're aware of the tendencies of the other team. You take that player down, you can get a lot of intel, not just from the kill, but yes, indeed from the setup. And it's going to be more of the same. Great timing. Could have got away, but he wants the 3-man spray down. He wants to guarantee this round, but still the job is not done just yet. 3 versus 1. Well, it is now. Stewie will close things out there. It was looking like a very convincing NIP victory at one point, but then MIBR turned it all around. It was very, very back and forth. We got to overtime somehow.